They had been searching for a home for years. Not an apartment with thin walls and restless neighbors, but a real house with land, silence, and space to breathe. When Artyom and Marina found the old listing online, a large, lonely house on a hill surrounded by tall pines, it felt like fate. The price was shockingly low, but they convinced themselves that perhaps age and remoteness explained it. When they arrived, the house greeted them with a stillness so deep, it felt almost deliberate. Dust drifted in the air like forgotten memories, and every step echoed as if the house were repeating their movements, studying them. The wooden beams groaned quietly, not with decay, but with something that sounded uncomfortably close to awareness. They spent the first day cleaning, unpacking, and trying to breathe life back into the abandoned place. Yet the longer they stayed inside, the heavier the atmosphere felt, as if the air held the weight of years they knew nothing about. Marina sensed it first, an almost imperceptible pressure like someone's gaze lingering a moment too long. She tried to ignore it, but the feeling returned again and again. The attic unsettled her the most. The space was dim, heavy with dust, and dominated by a single large mirror draped under a thick cloth. Even covered, the mirror felt imposing, as though something beneath it waited for the right moment to be seen. Marina could not shake the feeling that it had been placed there intentionally. As night fell, small oddities began to emerge. Objects shifted slightly from where they had been left. A cabinet door eased open with no breeze to explain it. The old house seemed to release sounds too rhythmic, too measured, to be random. Still, they chose to rationalize everything. Old buildings make strange noises after all. The real unease began in the middle of the night. Marina awoke suddenly with the overwhelming sensation that she was not alone. Her breath caught in her throat. There was a presence beside the bed. A tall, unmoving shape pressed into the darkness. She could not make out its features, but she felt its attention with chilling clarity. By the time she forced herself to move, the shape had vanished, dissolving into the shadows as if it had never been there. Yet the terror it left behind was unmistakable. Morning brought no comfort. A thin line traced into the dust stretched across the floor from their bedroom doorway toward the stairs, drawn with purpose. The attic mirror, which they had left covered, now stood uncovered. Uncovered and repositioned, its heavy frame likely impossible to move by accident. The scratch on its surface had not been there the day before. It resembled a crude, childlike figure carved into the glass through deliberate, repeated strokes. Throughout the day, the house continued to reveal subtle changes. A cold pocket of air formed near the second-floor corridor, unmoved even by the open window. The shadows in certain corners appeared unnaturally dense, almost textured. The wooden floor creaked sometimes in patterns resembling footsteps, slow and measured, as though someone were pacing just out of sight. Marina felt an increasing pressure, the sense that the house was not merely old but observant. It was beginning to wake, and as it woke, it seemed to remember something, or someone. That evening, as they moved through the house, a loud thud shook the ceiling above them. It was not the sound of settling wood. It was too heavy, too sudden. When they went upstairs, they found the once sealed room at the end of the hall ajar. Inside, the air was freezing, and the walls bore streaks of dark smudges running downward like marks left by unseen hands feeling their way along the surface. A scrap of old fabric lay in the center of the floor, the same fabric that had once concealed the attic mirror. Later, when they climbed to the attic, they discovered something even more disturbing. The mirror was gone. In its place, faint footprints, neither child-sized nor adult-sized, traced a path through the dust, leading directly toward the attic opening. The proportions were wrong, as if they belonged to something that only partially resembled a person. Beside the footprints lay a long strip of torn wallpaper. Scratched into it with jagged lines was the outline of a human figure, drawn with obsessive precision, carved deeply enough to tear the surface. It resembled the figure from the mirror. The pattern was becoming clear. The house had not been empty for 10 years. It had merely been waiting for someone to enter its walls, waiting for someone to see what lived inside it, waiting, perhaps, for someone to claim. And as the last light of evening faded, the house seemed to exhale, softly, slowly, as if waking up after a very long sleep. This was only the beginning.